Okay, so for the client-centered coaching video, the first thing I wanted to look at out of the three categories was client-centered coaching. So what does client-centered coaching mean to me? So for me, client-centered coaching is where you're truly listening to the client. Everything is going to be focused on the client. And during client-centered coaching, you're not necessarily putting in your feelings and thoughts into everything. This is more of an active listening portion for where I would be in that situation, and I would definitely be trying to listen to what the client is saying, not necessarily my way of fixing the problem or behavior that they're experiencing. What impact does a client-centered focus have on your ability to work with clients? I think that this really just shows the emphasis on how well can I listen to them and they know that I care. So the goal is really so that they can see that I am listening and that I want to help them make that change. But first, they need to say everything that they need to say. And then after that, I can kind of put my input into that and kind of see what situations we can help fix and hopefully have lifelong habits changed and formed. And I think that would be really beneficial. So now we're going to discuss how prioritizing the client's needs, preferences, and goals shapes your approach to coaching. So kind of when we're looking at all of this, I think it's really important that the client's needs are first. So that's why with client-centered coaching, we're really taking a step back and we're listening to everything that they have to say. So they know that when they're talking, what they want to say is all being said and that we're going to focus on what they want. It's not me observing what they're going to say and say, I think you should do it this way, this way. First, we're going to talk them through what do they think that they could change before I am putting in all of my input. And I think that during this time, it's important that, yes, I can help make a goal for them, but I think they need to say everything first. And if they can kind of say what they think is the problem, that's going to help with writing the goal. As they're just saying that they have something that needs to change is really going to impact how well they can make a new goal, which is, I think, really important. And we also have to look at our client engagement. So I think when they're talking and we're listening, they're going to be way more engaged in the conversation rather than me just saying a bunch of stuff that could be changed. This way that they are a part of that plan. They know what's actually going to happen and what can help. And I think that this will really help motivate them as they're seeing that they can help themselves make the change and that I'm just here to guide them. I'm not necessarily there to say, do this, this, and this. And I think that really is like overall going to help increase the client's ability to want to make that change. So the second prompt that I'm going to answer is the one that's based on awesomeness-based coaching. So that's something that kind of sounds a little strange, I think, at first, but when we look at awesomeness-based coaching, so this is like going to take client-centered coaching, but then dive to a deeper level, and it's going to focus on all of the positive things that happen with that client. So for awesomeness-based coaching, we're really just going to focus on lifting up the client with everything that is going well, rather than focusing on all the negative things. I think a lot of times when somebody comes in to make a behavior change, everything is focused on the negatives. So using this awesomeness-based coaching tactics, we can kind of focus on the positive things to help make that change, but do it in a better light. An example of how I might use awesomeness-based coaching in my practice. So something that I would look into doing with the awesomeness-based coaching is if I'm trying to help somebody in their fitness journey to help them lose weight, and we know that they were an athlete when they were younger or however old they may be, but they've been an athlete before, but say they've gained a little bit of weight and they want to lose it. I don't think we should necessarily stress going to the gym as much. I think we can look at what else can they do. They like to compete. They like to do other stuff. So keeping things high intensity, I think, would really help. But like encouraging them to go back into a sport, find a rec league or something, I think would be really beneficial, and helping them just find something fun that they would want to do. And I think just talking them through that, be like, I think it would be really cool if you did this since you were a great athlete in high school or something, just to help bridge that gap from not working out in a long time to working out. Let's give them something fun to do, but really like kind of lift them up and be like, this is something you were really good at, so let's keep with it. And this approach really puts an emphasis on the client's strengths and positive attributes. So I think that this could be a great thing. So like I said in the last thing, but putting the emphasis, like they like to work out, but they don't necessarily want to lift. Well, we can put an emphasis on finding ways to do a high level or a high intensity sport to help with that activity. And I think that could be a great first step. But bringing in how were they in the past? So if they ran track in high school, let's say like we'll put in more track workouts to help them lose weight or something. But really just anything to kind of give them some praises and help them know that like I'm here for them. What they've done in the past is great. So let's just keep with it.